Be me, Jake, 29, mid-level developer at TechFlow Solutions. Nothing fancy, we build enterprise software, about 45 people total. Good pay, decent benefits, the usual startup trying to look corporate vibe. The story starts at our annual Synergy Summit retreat. Yes, they actually called it that. 2 days at Pine Lake Resort, mandatory attendance, team-building bullshit that nobody wanted but everyone had to pretend to be excited about. I carpooled up with Tom from DevOps and Matthew, our senior back-end engineer. Matthew's a good dude, quiet, brilliant with code, kind of awkward socially. He brought a Rubik's Cube for the drive, kept solving it over and over. Nervous habit. "You okay, man?" I asked. "Yeah, I don't love these social things," Matthew said, not making eye contact. "Too many people. Too much small talk." "Just stick with us," Tom said. "We'll hide in the back during the trust falls or whatever." We got to the resort around noon. Nice place. Conference center attached to a hotel, lake view, the works. Probably cost the company a fortune. Matthew immediately volunteered to help the hotel staff set up the AV equipment in the main conference room. That's his thing. He's way more comfortable doing tasks than socializing. I watched him fidget with cables, test the microphone, adjust the projector. In his element, Vanessa from marketing walked by. Young, maybe 25, always dressed like she's about to do a TED Talk. "Nice blazer," Matthew said to her. "Very professional, like a TED Talk presenter." He meant it as a compliment. I know Matthew. He doesn't do subtext or flirting. He was literally just commenting on her outfit. "Oh, thanks," Vanessa said, giving him a weird look before walking away. Didn't think anything of it at the time. Later, Matthew helped Betty, this older woman from accounting, carry her suitcase up the resort stairs. She's got bad knees. "Thanks so much, Matthew," Betty said warmly. No problem," Matthew stammered. "I know these stairs are a lot." Again, just being helpful. That's Matthew. Awkward delivery, but good heart. The evening team bonding activity was the usual icebreaker garbage. We played 2 truths and a lie. Matthew struggled with eye contact during his turn, kept staring at his hands while he talked. Some people do that when they're anxious. I do it sometimes. During dinner, Matthew sat with me, Tom, and Priya from our dev team. He tried to join the conversation when people talked about weekend plans. "What do you do on weekends?" he asked Vanessa, who was sitting at the next table over. "I mostly just code side projects." "Oh, I hang out with friends mostly," she said. Short answer. Then turned back to her table. I noticed the women at Vanessa's table, Linda, our HR director, Vanessa, Kelly from QA, a couple others, start whispering, caught Matthew's name once or twice. Matthew hunched his shoulders a bit, went quiet for the rest of dinner. The next morning, Linda led a session on psychological safety in the workplace. Linda's 38, been our HR director for 3 years. Big on DEI initiatives, safe spaces, all that. She's the type who puts her pronouns in her email signature and has a "nevertheless she persisted" mug on her desk. She arranged us in a talking circle, started asking people to share times they felt uncomfortable at work but didn't speak up. It started innocent enough. Someone mentioned feeling talked over in meetings. Someone else mentioned unclear feedback from a manager. Then Linda pivoted. "What about interactions that felt boundary crossing?" she asked, voice gentle but leading. "Even if unintentional?" Vanessa bit. "I mean, sometimes when guys are overly helpful, it feels like they want something, you know?" The other women nodded. "OMG, yes," Kelly said. "Like when they volunteer to carry things for you. It's like, I didn't ask for help." "It's so important we create space for women to name these microaggressions," Linda said, writing notes on her tablet. I glanced at Matthew. He'd shrunk into his chair, face red. He'd been the one carrying Betty's suitcase. He'd been the one helping with the projector. Linda looked right at him for a second, not in a kind way. "My door is always open," Linda announced, "if anyone needs to process feelings from this weekend." On the drive home, Matthew was quiet for the first hour. Finally, he spoke up. "Did I say something wrong?" he asked. "Vanessa seemed weird after I complimented her outfit." "Nah, man, you're overthinking it," I said. "You were fine." I wish I'd been right. Monday morning, 4 days after the retreat. I got to the office at 8:30, grabbed coffee, settled at my desk. Around 9 a.m., I saw Linda call Matthew upstairs to her office. Our office has open layout, desks clustered by team, glass-walled conference rooms, HR offices on the second floor overlooking everything. I had clear sightline to the stairs. Matthew looked confused, but went up. I went back to my code review. 20 minutes later, Matthew came down the stairs carrying a cardboard box. His face was pale, completely blank expression, like he was in shock. Building security, this guy named Ron, who's usually cracking jokes, walked behind him, stone-faced. I jumped up. "Matt, what the hell? I'm fired," Matthew said quietly, not stopping. "I don't even know what I did." Ron wouldn't let me follow them to the parking lot. I went straight upstairs to HR. Linda was in her office with Vanessa and Kelly. All three of them looked satisfied. That's the word. Like they'd accomplished something. "What happened to Matthew?" I asked from the doorway. "I can't discuss personnel matters," Linda said, not looking up from her computer. "But the company takes harassment seriously." "Harassment?" I said. "Matthew, what did he do?" "Multiple women reported feeling unsafe around him," Linda said, finally meeting my eyes. "We have a zero-tolerance policy." "Unsafe how?" I pushed. "Did he threaten someone? Touch someone?" "It's not about specific actions, Jake," Linda said, voice getting defensive. "It's about impact. These women felt uncomfortable, and that's what matters." "So what? He got fired for making eye contact wrong." Vanessa spoke up. "He was always staring at me, and asking personal questions." "He asked what you do on weekends," I said. "That's called conversation." "This meeting is over," Linda said coldly. "I suggest you focus on your work and let HR handle HR matters." I walked out before I said something I'd regret. That night, I called Matthew. He answered on the 5th ring, voice rough like he'd been crying. "They said 3 women reported me," Matthew said, "but they wouldn't tell me what I did. Linda just said my pattern of behavior made women uncomfortable." "What pattern? I barely talk to anyone." "Did they give you a chance to respond to the complaints?" "No. She called me in and said my employment was terminated effective immediately, that I'd receive 2 weeks severance pay, that security would escort me out." His voice broke. "I just bought a condo 6 months ago, Jake. First place I've ever owned. The mortgage is $2,400 a month. I have maybe 2 months savings, and my mom's in assisted living. I help with her expenses. I can't be unemployed right now." "We're going to fix this, Matt," I said. "I promise." I didn't know how yet, but I meant it. The next day, I caught Priya in the kitchen. "Can we talk?" I asked quietly. She looked around, then nodded. We went outside to the parking lot. "There's a group chat," Priya said, uncomfortable. "The women's channel. They were talking about Matthew after that vulnerability circle thing at the retreat." "What were they saying?" "Vanessa said his compliment about her blazer felt objectifying. Kelly said he stood too close when helping with the projector setup. Linda kept asking if anyone else felt creeped out." "Did you feel creeped out by Matthew?" "No," Priya said firmly. "He's awkward, not predatory. But I stayed quiet because I didn't want to be the one defending him, you know? I didn't want to be that woman who doesn't support other women." I got it. Didn't like it, but I got it. "It was coordinated," Priya continued. "Linda was coaching them, asking leading questions. When he did X, how did that make you feel? That kind of thing." Jesus. The same day, our project manager started panicking. We had a system issue that needed Matthew's expertise. He built our entire legacy authentication system. The junior dev couldn't figure it out. Tom from DevOps said it bluntly. This is Matthew's code. He's the only one who actually understands it. Client demo was scheduled for Friday. When someone mentioned maybe calling Matthew for help, Linda shut it down. We'll figure it out, she said. We can't compromise safety for convenience. By Wednesday, the demo got postponed. Client wasn't happy. Matthew updated his LinkedIn to open to work. I stared at that green banner on his profile picture for a long time. Then I started making some calls. The paranoia spread fast. Tom mentioned over lunch that Linda had counseled him last month about his tone in an email to a female project manager. He disagreed with her timeline estimate. Apparently that was aggressive. Carlos from front end said he got warned about standing too close at the printer. He was just waiting for his documents. Ryan from QA looked genuinely nervous. I held the door open for someone last week. She didn't say thanks, just looked annoyed. Am I next? We all felt it. This unspoken tension, like any interaction with a woman, could get you fired. I created a Signal group chat, called it Office Politics Discussion, vague enough that if someone saw it on a phone screen, it wouldn't raise flags. Started with Tom, Carlos, and Ryan. Within 2 days, it grew to 16 guys. Developers, QA, DevOps, even a couple sales guys. Everyone had a story. Someone posted a screenshot from Matthew's LinkedIn. The open to work banner. Then another screenshot. Matthew's post. Grateful for new opportunities. Looking forward to the next chapter. Corporate speak for, I got screwed and I'm trying to stay professional. Tom sent a message to the chat. I've been looking around. Market's hot right now. We could all get jobs in a week, maybe 2. Carlos. What if we just all left? Ryan. They'd be completely fucked. Most of the actual technical work is us. I had a different idea though. We needed leverage, sure, but we also needed proof. I approached Priya in the parking lot after work. I need a favor, I said, and you can say no. What kind of favor? Screenshots from that women's group chat. Priya looked conflicted. Jake, I know what I'm asking, but Matthew's about to lose his condo. His mom's in assisted living and he helps pay for it. And he didn't do anything wrong. You know that. Long silence. If I do this, Priya said slowly, and anyone finds out, they won't. I'll protect the source. She nodded. Give me a day. The next evening, my phone buzzed. Encrypted message from Priya, screenshots. I read through them, feeling my blood pressure rise. Vanessa, after the retreat. Matthew's compliment was so weird, like why is he commenting on my body? Kelly. OMG yes, and he totally cornered me by the projector. Linda. If you ever feel unsafe, document it. Patterns matter. Another woman I didn't recognize. I always thought he stared too much, but didn't want to seem dramatic. Linda. You're not dramatic. Trust your instincts. This is what microaggressions look like. But the smoking gun was this. Linda to Vanessa in a side thread. When he complimented your outfit, how did that make you feel? Did you feel objectified? Like he was reducing you to your appearance? She'd coached them. Literally told them what to feel. Priya sent one more message. I can't be part of this anymore, Jake. It's wrong. Use these however you need to. I saved everything to 3 different cloud storage services. Then things escalated on the client side. DataCore Solutions, our biggest client, $2 million annual contract, called the CEO directly. Their rep was pissed. Matthew was our main point of contact. He built our entire integration system. Why is he suddenly gone? Our CEO, Marcus Chen, is the typical startup founder type. Big ideas, bad at details, mostly hands-off unless there's a crisis. He'd been at some conference in Austin when Matthew got fired. I'll look into it, Marcus said. You better, the DataCore rep said, because we need him back on this project or we're reviewing our contract. The project manager went to Linda. We need to bring Matthew back. Linda's response? Absolutely not. We don't rehire people who create hostile environments. In the men's group chat, the conversation got serious. Tom, I put out feelers. Got 2 interviews lined up already. Carlos. Same. Market's crazy good right now for devs. Ryan. What if we give them an ultimatum first? Like one chance to fix this? I typed out a message. I have evidence. Screenshots showing Linda coached the complaints. What if we demand Matthew's reinstatement with a real investigation? If they refuse, then we walk. The chat went quiet for a minute. Then responses flooded in. I'm in. Yeah, let's do it. They need us more than we need them. Fuck it, yes. 16 men. Unanimous. I drafted the ultimatum email. We request immediate reinstatement of Matthew Reeves pending proper investigation with documented evidence and right to respond. We also request written policy guaranteeing due process for all future disciplinary actions. If these conditions are not met by 5 p.m. Wednesday, we will submit formal resignations. Before I sent it to the group for approval, I ran into Sarah from QA in the parking lot. She looked around nervously. Jake, wait. Yeah? I don't think Matthew did anything wrong, she said quietly. I was in that group chat. I saw what Linda was doing, coaching them, leading them. But I didn't say anything because you didn't want to be the only one, I finished. Yeah. And now he's gone and I feel sick about it. But if I speak up now, I'm the one who doesn't support other women, you know? So you're going to let an innocent guy lose his job and his home because you don't want to look bad? Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I know it's wrong. I don't know what to do. You could tell the truth. Would it even matter at this point? She walked away. I watched her go, disgusted, but also understanding the pressure. Still, Matthew was losing everything, and she stayed silent. I sent the ultimatum draft to the men's chat. 16 approvals came back within 10 minutes. Wednesday morning, we requested a meeting with Linda and the CEO. Time to see if they do the right thing. Spoiler, they didn't. Wednesday, 2 p.m. Main conference room. 16 of us filed in. Linda sat at the head of the table, tablet in front of her. CEO Marcus stood by the window, looking confused about why his entire tech team requested an emergency meeting. I spoke first. We're here about Matthew's termination. We're requesting his immediate reinstatement and a proper investigation. Linda's face hardened. The investigation was thorough. Multiple women independently. Not independently, I said, pulling out my phone. I pulled up the screenshots, turned it toward Marcus. Linda coached them, told them what to feel. Marcus took my phone, started reading. His expression darkened. Linda stood up. That's taken out of context. You can't use private conversations. You manufactured a case, Tom interrupted. You told women to reframe normal interactions as harassment. I created safe space for women to name their experiences. Linda's voice rose. By putting words in their mouths, Carlos said. Marcus was still reading. He looked up at Linda. You told Vanessa that a compliment about her blazer was objectification. I asked her to examine how it made her feel. He said she looked professional, I said. That's it. That's what got him fired. Marcus set my phone down. Linda, we need to review this. Let me talk to the board and... No, I said firmly. We need a decision today. Reinstate Matthew with full back pay and a written apology, plus policy changes guaranteeing due process. Or we all resign. 2 weeks' notice, submitted by 5 p.m. Linda actually laughed. You're bluffing. You all need these jobs. Try us, Tom said. The room was dead silent. Marcus looked between us and Linda. Gentlemen, let's not be hasty. I'll review everything and get back to you by end of week. Today, I repeated. 5 p.m. Marcus pulled Linda aside for a private conversation in his office. We waited in the conference room. Nobody spoke, just checked phones, avoided eye contact. At 4:55, we still hadn't heard anything. I sent a message to our group chat. Send them. 18 resignation emails hit the HR system simultaneously. Subject line, 2 weeks notice, effective date. Body text identical. I am resigning due to concerns about due process and workplace fairness. My last day will be, date 2 weeks out. Professional, brief, bulletproof. My phone rang 30 seconds later. Marcus. Jake, come on, let's talk about this. Nothing to talk about. We gave you the terms. You didn't meet them. I need time to... You had time. See you around, Marcus. I hung up. Linda tried damage control over the next week, offered 10% raises to anyone who'd stay. We all declined. She scheduled listening sessions to hear our concerns. None of us showed up. She promised to review Matthew's case with fresh eyes. We ignored her. Day 10, I got a call from Linda directly. What do you want, Jake? Her voice was strained. Matthew back, full apology. You demoted, in writing. I will never apologize for protecting women. Okay, see you never then. The consequences came fast. Women tried to handle technical work. They couldn't. The server crashed on day 11. Nobody could fix it. Client data was at risk. Kelly from QA came to Linda. Maybe we should just bring Matthew back. We'll hire new people, Linda said. Better people. DataCore pulled their contract. $2 million. Gone. 2 other clients threatened the same. On day 12, I saw Linda alone in her office at 8 p.m. Lights dim. Her desk was covered in printed resignation letters. She was on the phone. No, I understand you have the right to resign, but if we could just talk... Click. They hung up on her. She put her head in her hands. Makeup smudged. Coffee cups everywhere. Her computer screen showed 47 unread emails from Marcus. Subject lines like, urgent board asking questions, and call me now. Day 13, Marcus called Linda to his office. I heard through the walls, not the words, but the tone. Marcus yelling. Linda's voice cracking. When she came out, she looked terrible. Hair messy, suit wrinkled. She walked through the empty office floor, past Matthew's old desk, where the junior dev had sticky notes saying, Matthew help? Past the clusters of empty desks where we used to sit. She stood in the middle of the space. It felt massive and silent. Her phone buzzed, text from Vanessa. We still support you. What they're doing is wrong. Linda didn't reply. That night, I heard from a friend still at the company that Linda stayed until 11 p.m., sat at her desk in the dark, pulled out a flask from her bottom drawer. The apology script from the company's lawyer sat crumpled in her trash can. She'd fished it out, smoothed it, crumpled it again. Marcus's note in the margin. Say it exactly as written, or you're terminated with cause. Friday morning, Marcus sent company-wide email. Mandatory all-hands meeting, 2 p.m. today. Attendance required. In our group chat, Tom sent a message. Think they caved? Me. Guess we'll find out. Friday, 2 p.m. Conference room packed. Marcus stood at the front. Linda sat in the corner, face blank. An older woman I didn't recognize sat next to Marcus. Turned out she was an external HR consultant he'd hired. Thank you all for coming, Marcus started. I want to address the recent resignations and Matthew Reeves' termination. The room was dead silent. After a thorough review by an independent investigator, we've determined that Matthew's termination was handled improperly. Audible gasps from the women's side of the room. Vanessa whispered to Kelly. Are you kidding me? Marcus continued. Matthew is being reinstated effective immediately, with full back pay for time missed, plus a salary adjustment. We've also implemented new policies requiring documented evidence and employee right to respond before any termination. He looked at Linda. Linda has something to say. Linda stood slowly. Her hands shook slightly. I apologized to Matthew for any misunderstanding in how his termination was processed. Silence. Marcus stared at her. That's not good enough, Marcus said firmly. A real apology. Long pause. Linda's jaw clenched. I could see her fighting it. Finally. Matthew, I apologize for terminating you without proper investigation. I was wrong about the severity of the complaints. You should have been given the opportunity to respond. She didn't look at him. The words came out like she was chewing glass. Matthew, who'd been invited back for this meeting, spoke quietly. Thank you. I appreciate that. More gracious than she deserved. Marcus dropped the final bomb. Additionally, Linda is being transferred to our Austin satellite office to focus on policy development. Kelly Chen will serve as interim HR director here. Linda's face went white. Demotion, exile, humiliation, all at once. The meeting ended. Men started returning. Most of us had negotiated raises as part of the deal. Matthew got swarmed immediately. Tom slapped his back. Good to have you back, man. Matthew's eyes were wet. I thought my career was over. Not on our watch, I said. Linda packed her office in silence over the next week. Vanessa tried to console her. This is so unfair, Vanessa said. You were just trying to protect us. They won, Linda said bitterly. The patriarchy always wins. Priya walked by. Linda glared at her. Traitor. Priya didn't break stride. I just told the truth. Linda's last day, there was no goodbye party. She slipped out the side door with a cardboard box at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. 3 weeks later, I was scrolling LinkedIn during lunch. There it was, Linda's post. After 8 years in HR, I'm taking time to reflect on what truly creates inclusive workplaces. Sometimes standing up for what's right means standing alone. Looking for opportunities where my values align with leadership. #DEI, #workplace culture, #HR leadership. The comments were split, some supportive. You're so brave, don't let them silence you. Others, critical. Maybe ask yourself why an entire team resigned under your leadership. Top comment was from Priya. There's another side to this story. Due process isn't toxic masculinity. It's basic fairness. I didn't comment. Just close the app. Matthew walked by my desk. Lunch? Tom's ordering Thai. Yeah, let's go. We walked out together. Office felt normal again. Printers working, servers stable, projects on track. Matthew was cracking jokes with the team. Still awkward, still fidgety with his Rubik's Cube, but he was home. Later that week, I ran into Sarah in the parking lot. She'd been quiet since everything went down. I'm glad Matthew's back, she said. You could have helped earlier, I said. Not mean, just honest. I know. She looked at the ground. I was a coward. Yeah, you were. She nodded and walked to her car. Some people find their courage early. Some find it late. Some never find it at all. Me? I learned something important. Sometimes the good guys win, not because they're louder, not because they're stronger, but because they stick together, because they stand up when it matters, and because they don't back down. Matthew still works here, still brilliant, still awkward, still one of the best engineers I've ever worked with. Linda's in Austin now, probably telling herself she was right. Maybe she even believes it, but we know the truth. And that's enough.